What's going on, Swole Gamers? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be discussing all of the upcoming changes to Apex Legends, including but not limited to, we got a new weapon, we got new map changes, we got a new legend, we got bug fixes, and we got a ton of other new items and small things to talk about. So make sure if you want to stay up to date with everything Apex Legends, Star Wars, and Call of Duty related, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that way you never miss a single upload with that little bell icon. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get straight into this update. With the introduction of Season 7, there were a lot of sweeping changes made to the arena, and not all for the good of the overall fanbase. While many of these changes were appeasing to longtime players like myself, such as the Pathfinder's buff, where his grapple was decreased to a 30-second cooldown, an increase in the damage requirements for shields, which overall reduced the amount of red shields at the end of a match, which is overall really good. And we also saw the return of the iconic R99 to ground loot, as it was previously only inside of cargo drops, which is fantastic because it brought back a lot of nostalgic players to use one of their favorite weapons from the earlier seasons. On top of this, Season 7 brought to us the Legend of Horizon, who has been spotted all throughout the competitive scene, as her enhanced mobility and useful ultimate gives her a wide learning curve and makes her one of the most useful legends in Apex Legends if you can use her correctly. Now, like I said, many of the changes that were made that I just mentioned were well received by the community, but there were also a lot of other decisions made by the dev team that really pissed off longtime fans, such as the removal of the Prowler from ground loot, which is one of the most iconic and fun weapons to use throughout the entire game. Season 7 also brought about an overpowered Caustic, which forced his way into the competitive scene and is really annoying, especially for casual players who don't know how to counter his abilities. On top of all that, the removal of Kings Canyon from the rotation really did piss off a lot of old-time fans who were thrilled and had fun with the map that they had known to grow and love, especially when it was replaced by a mediocre, less than fulfilling replacement with Olympus. And not to say that Olympus is a bad map, but replacing with something that is not equally as good as far as most fans are concerned is not something that you can say that ultimately was good for the game at that time. Also, it was at this point that I realized there was cars added to the game in Season 7, and I didn't realize that until about halfway through writing the script for this thing, and it's kind of sad that I just now realized it, because they're not that influential when you really think about it. They make a ton of noise, so they're going to give away your location. They don't have any armaments, so if you're on it and you're getting shot, I guess you're just shit out of luck, because you're probably in the middle of the open, and now you have no cover. And yeah, there's just so many better options to move around the map without giving away your location. Cars just seem kind of unnecessary in this game. Now, for a game like Fortnite or Warzone, where there's not that much movement-based things, and you actually have to walk everywhere, cars make sense on that, but adding in cars just felt like a cheap way for the developers to make the game look like Fortnite, and for them to go, hey, we're like Fortnite, we have cars, come play our game. And that's basically what that seemed like to me and to most fans, and that's why you don't see a whole lot of cars flying around on Apex, because it just doesn't make sense, and most of the time it'll get you killed. So don't drive cars in Apex, bad idea. But moving right along, the release of Season 8 is set to release on February 2nd, and is shaping up, based on what we've seen, to be one of the best seasons in Apex Legends history. Starting off with the map changes, Kings Canyon will finally be returning to the rotation with Season 8, and changes to the overall layout of the map in general. The locations of Slum and Artillery have both been wiped from existence, as there is now a large explosion on the map. Personally, this ain't going to affect me too much. I didn't never drop at Artillery or Slums a whole lot. If they took out Town, or if they took out Airbase, I would be quite disappointed. But not going to affect me a whole lot. But I know that I have a lot of friends who drop at these locations, so that'll probably mess with them a bit when they go back to the new map. And also at this time, we don't know what they're going to be replaced with, but for me, I'm just glad to see it back in the rotations, as like I said, it is one of my personal favorite maps in Apex Legends history. And next up, we're also going to be seeing a new weapon added to the fray called the 30-30 Repeater. And according to my own research, the 30-30 repeater is going to be like a level action rifle. So for me, I'm thinking something that I would see out of Red Dead Redemption 2. So a lever action weapon, similar in function to the G7 Scout. So I'm really interested to see how this stacks up against all of the current fantastic weapons in Apex Legends, because if it has a really slow fire rate and it doesn't do that much damage, it's probably not going to be that good overall, just simply because there's so many better options as far as if you can hit your shots and you do a lot of damage, then that's the gun that you're going to go with. You don't want a slower alternative anyways, that's going to shoot slower and make you a bigger target. So overall, I'm interested to see what they do with this weapon and how it comes into the fray in Season 8. Now, don't shoot the messenger. There are rumors floating about that the Prowler is going to return to ground loot, which will be absolutely fantastic.
If what you've told me is true, you will have gained my trust.
This change alone would make Season 8 so much better for me because it is my favorite weapon in all of Apex. It's so much fun to use. If you hit your shots, you are a beast with this weapon, and I'm just good with burst weapons in general, so I'm all kinds of down for this. And hopefully they make a lot of other good changes regarding the weapons as well. We'll see those when the patch notes come out in a couple of days, closer to the release of the update. But I'll make sure to keep you guys updated. Make sure y'all join my Discord down below, so that way you never miss a single update as far as live streams or anything like that. Just a quick cheeky plug. And I don't feel bad about it. Fight me down in the comments. Now, next up on our list of changes coming in with Season 8 is going to be the new legend Fuse, who is set to be the first explosive-based legend inside of Apex. His tactical ability is said to be like a wrist rocket. I'm sorry, okay? You know I had to. I'm a Star Wars fan. That's where my brain went. And his ultimate ability is said to be a mortar-like missile, firing a large projectile towards his enemies and exploding in a ring of fire, which will cause massive AoE damage and damage over time through burn effects. Now, it'll be really interesting to see how the overall composition of teams continues to change as more aerial attacks will give value to a champion like Gibby, who is already really valued in the game overall, and essentially will be getting another get-out-of-jail-free card, as it can protect you from another ultimate ability from another legend. So it'll be really interesting to see how this changes throughout Season 8, as Fuse is certainly set to cause mayhem and destruction all across Kings Canyon. We also know that some changes will be made to multiple legends throughout the arena, and we'll likely be seeing more once the official patch notes release. Currently, they are working on buffing the legends of Rampart, Revenant, and Wattson, as according to data released by Respawn, they are being used the least throughout the entire game at the moment, but there's really not a whole lot of surprises there. Now, these buffs can come through an adjustment to hitboxes and changes in their tactical abilities, but as far as we know, there's not going to be any major widespread changes to these characters. Just hopefully Respawn will buff them to the point where they feel relevant and fresh again. Revenant is obviously a damage-based champion, and the other two are defensive. And the problem with these two champions is not that they are not good at their roles, but there's much better options if you want to fulfill that role. Let's say you're picking Revenant. Why not pick Wraith? Why not pick Horizon? Why not pick Octane, who is much faster and can get in and out of fights quick? If you want a defensive champion, why not pick Gibby? Why not pick Caustic? Those are both much better roles, and they protect you, they give you buffs to your team, they help your team much better overall than picking somebody like Wattson, whose fences can easily get shot down, and the trophy system is very situational. And Rampart, her turret, is very situational as well, and her barricades can really actually hurt your team by blocking doors and decreasing the amount of movement that you can get among your team. So overall, hopefully they make some good changes, and that they make these changes to where these champions feel relevant, new, and fresh again. Now, Respawn has also said that they are looking to nerf Horizon and Wraith, as they are now seeing some of the highest player counts in the game in both competitive and casual play, as Wraith will be specifically receiving changes to her hitbox to make it easier to hit, and Horizon will likely be receiving an increase in cooldown to her tactical ability, which is what makes the learning curve on Horizon so much higher than that of other legends in Apex. We're not looking to see much changes to either one of their ultimate abilities, as they're both fairly balanced, and if you know how to counter them, they can easily be countered by experienced players. Now lastly, they're going to be adding many quality of life fixes and changes to make the game feel different in the new season. Respawn has already confirmed that gold mags will be coming to the game, automatically functioning to reload your holstered weapons for you. So if you need just those extra 3 or 4 or 5 shots to make sure that you finish the guy that you're shooting at, gold mags is going to be really helpful for that, and I feel it's going to fill a void that would be it's going to be really cool to see how they work and see if they actually end up staying in the game for a while. Maybe they think they're too overpowered, maybe they think they're a good fit to fill the void, so we'll see how that turns out. And then there's also going to be a damage tracker so players can see how much damage they have dealt during a match, as well as numerous other bug fixes and changes to make sure the game runs smoothly when Season 8 releases. Now, in my own opinion, I think Season 8 will be great for Apex, just considering the positive changes that we are set to receive and can only continue to thrive within the Battle Royale and video game world. Once again, if you found this video useful and entertaining, make sure you drop a like on the video as it really helps us out, and subscribe to never miss a single upload. Alrighty, Swolsters, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in another video or another live stream very soon. Take care and have a swole day.
It's close enough.
Dude, I'll take it. Halkin did the second most damage, and I sniped some of his kills. So, in retrospective, when you see this in the YouTube, probably I'm gonna work on it tomorrow because there's no way I don't make this into a YouTube video. I apologize, Halkin. Okay.
For what?
For stealing half of your kills. I had 5 kills, 1100 damage, and you had 3 kills, about 1400 damage.